Hey, Ren, are you there? You better be ironing my shirt and pressing my collar for tomorrow right now.
Oh, Zach. Oh, I really am sorry. I was actually just about to go and do it now.
Oh, really? Man, you're useless. Do you know that? Do you even know how to iron a shirt? Why don't you go ahead and re-iron every shirt that I own when you get back to the store so you can learn how to do it right?
Okay, Zach, I'll be sure and do that.
I mean, really, you just don't know how to take care of a house at all. The laundry is building up. There's dust and fluff on the floor. You can't even handle the most simple of housekeeping tasks. It really is embarrassing when you think about it.
But you know that I really am trying, right? It's just that you're strict about what you want done.
Well, the only reason that I'm strict is because if I weren't, then nothing would ever get done.
But I do clean the house and try my best. I run the vacuum cleaner every day, and I think I do a fine job ironing your shirts. Sure, there might be some dust or something on the floor, but you can never have a perfectly clean house.
I can't believe that you're really trying to throw all these excuses at me right now. I really hate that.
Well, I'm sorry if there are still things about the house that bother you, but maybe you should lower your standards just a little bit?
Oh, I think I've already lowered my standards enough with you. Don't you know that all your little screw-ups end up affecting me at work? I can't concentrate at work because I'm too busy thinking of the horrible state of the house.
Again, I really am sorry if there are things that aren't to your liking, but I really am doing my best. I really don't think this is getting in the way of your working, Zach.
You just don't get it, do you? When I'm in a bad mood at work, it doesn't just affect me. It rubs off on everyone else in the office. Besides, you're the only one who isn't cleaning who she should be. You're just lazy and making everyone else pay for it.
I really don't know what to say to any of this. Are you really this upset all because you found some wrinkle in your shirt? And what's even the point of having me iron all your shirts? That's just a waste of time.
What are you talking about? How is any of what I've been saying a waste of time?
Look, Zach, I'm not saying I'm the perfect housewife, but if I had to rate myself, I would give myself an 8 out of 10. I always aim to get as much cleaned and ready as I can, but at the end of the day, I'm not a robot and I'm going to miss things.
There you go again, giving excuse after excuse. When are you finally going to start taking responsibility for your actions, huh?
Look, Zach, if you really have a problem with the way the house is, then you are more than welcome to come help me clean. Or at least learn how to iron your own clothes. It really isn't that difficult or time-consuming. Besides, you know that I also work from home. And so while I'm cooking and cleaning and ironing, I'm also working. Honestly, I hardly ever have even a second to myself most days because I'm so busy.
Ren, let's make something clear here. You are the woman. It's your job to clean the house. Never ask me to do something like that again.
I'm only asking for a little help. You have no idea how hard it is having to take care of the house while working. You have no idea what I go through every day, so who do you think you are to keep demanding more and more from me?
And just why should I have to do anything at all, huh? We're talking about simple tasks that you should be able to handle yourself.
I handle them just fine. But you just somehow always manage to find something to nitpick or something that you don't like. But I am telling you that the house is never going to be perfect, so stop looking for perfection. Do you think I enjoy taking care of the house? Because I really don't.
You don't like taking care of the house? What kind of woman doesn't love to cook and clean and iron for her man?
Probably a lot less than you think, actually.
I seriously can't believe that I'm having to put up with this right now. How did I end up with such a useless woman for a wife? You can't take care of the house. You have no sense of interior decorating. You just have no skills that a married woman like you should have.
I really think that you only see what you want to see and not actually listening to anything I'm telling you. Besides, what does any of this have to do with me being a woman? That has nothing to do with this.
Of course it has something to do with this. It's extremely relevant.
And just where are you getting your information on this from, may I ask?
Well, my dad, of course. He told me that it's a man's job to go to work and provide for his family. And he also told me it's a woman's job to take care of the house and have the babies. So a man should be at work and be good at it, and a woman should be running the household and be good at it. If you can't be good at the one thing that you're supposed to do in your role, then I think I have a right to complain.
Zach, that is just sexist dribble. I mean, no offense against your dad, but he certainly doesn't strike me as someone up on the times. And I don't think that any of this has anything to do with what gender someone might be.
You really just have no idea how the real works at all, do you? My dad knows what he's talking about. He's got life experience. He also told me that a woman can't be trusted with money since they don't know how to stick to a budget.
Wow. Well, your dad certainly has given you so many insights into the female psyche, hasn't he?
At least you're starting to get it now. But it's true. Women always be shopping. You all go out and spend all the money you have on makeup and dresses and stuff. You just don't know how to spend smartly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not buying any of this. You realize that, right? I know how to make a budget, and I know how to stick to it when I go out shopping. So please stop generalizing about all women like this. It's really gross.
But you're always buying things that are on sale, aren't you?
I mean, if it's a good deal, sure, I try and stick to items that are on sale for us.
Aha. So you admit it. You admit to buying things that we don't actually need because they're on sale. What kind of way is that to spend money? There you go. You've just proved my point. So what do you think about that?
You know, fine, Zach. If you know so much more about money than me, why don't you go and do all the shopping? After all, you know all about budgeting and money, and I'm just a stupid woman who might forget to buy food and buy makeup instead, tee-hee. I should just stay in the house and stick to the work in there. But, you know, there are a lot of men out there. Ones who do the housework, ones who cook for their families even.
Don't you start with any of that. I'm not one of those new beta men. I'm a traditionalist. That's why I know what's best. It's been working for thousands of years. Did you seriously go out and buy a new coat for yourself?
Yes, I did, if you must know. My old coat was, well, old. It was getting holes and the material was starting to wear down.
But you had to go and get yourself some new coat with a fancy brand on it? Just how much did you spend on something like this?
My new coat cost me around $600.
You spent $600 on this thing? Are you serious?
Yes, I am serious. I spent $600 on a coat, and I think that was a good price for the brand I bought. Besides, compared to other similar coats at the store, I got this one at a pretty price, if you ask me.
How could you say that after you blew $600 on it? I seriously can't believe. You shouldn't be spending any more than $100 on a coat. Honestly, you have no idea how to spend money or what a good price is at all.
Well, it seems like $600 is really expensive to you, but you should know that the coat is of really good material. And the person at the store said that the coat should last me about 10 years if I take care of it. Not only that, but I think I chose a pretty timeless style. So there was really no good reason not to buy that coat when you think about it.
I could think about 600 reasons why you shouldn't have bought this stupid coat of yours. You know, the one that I always wear only cost $8. Why do women never grasp the importance of looking for deals when it comes to clothes? You always go out and find the most expensive piece you can.
Zach, you literally have to buy yourself a new coat practically every season. You've spent way more than $600 on one item when you think about it. I've spent $600 and I am going to be able to use this coat for the next decade. You see how that's a good thing, right?
I don't care what excuse you have for me or what lie the person at the shop might have told you. I know that you just wanted to have some fancy coat with a brand to show off in it. Don't you know that I can read you like a book? You're just like any other woman, always caring about your appearance and never thinking of the consequences. But I hope that this shopping splurge of yours sated your need to spend money, because this is not going to become a regular thing.
You're right. It isn't going to be a regular thing because I've literally invested money into a nice piece of clothing. What does it matter what brand it is if I'm going to have this coat for the next 10 years?
I'm just saying that you could have picked something cheaper out. Why can't you wear something cheap for 10 years? You just wanted to spend money.
Do you really think women enjoy spending money just for the fun of it? I am telling you that I bought this coat because it's a smart move to make. Besides, I bought the coat with money that I made working my job. So I really don't think you have a right to be saying this.
But that's completely irrelevant to the point I'm trying to make. What I'm trying to say is that if you keep this up, you're going to completely bankrupt us. Is that what you want? You don't care what happens to the both of us? As long as you look good while we go down? You'll destroy us all.
You are being way too overdramatic right now. Do you know that? I mean, you haven't given one good example of how I've been wasteful. Besides, you spend so much money on that motorcycle of yours, not to mention going out and getting drunk on the weekends. Is that not a waste of money?
Of course it's not a waste of money, but I wouldn't expect a female like you to understand the complicated math that men have when it comes to money. I spend money on my bike so that I can talk it up to the people at my work and impress my client and bosses. And the same goes for spending big when I go out.
So then you're saying that you spend large amounts of money for social status symbols. Is that right? Because that sounds like exactly what you were trying to get upset at me for this whole time. I mean, I already have a difficult enough time getting you to give me part of your paycheck so that I can put them in a savings account. If I didn't do that, then you probably wouldn't have a penny after the first week you got paid.
Listen to me. Taking care of the house is your job, and that includes taking care of your finances. So how in the world are you doing that if you're going out and buying expensive coats? Maybe I'll just take out all my savings and go buy a new bike just to prove that you don't know what you're talking about.
You're really going to do that? Zach, that is one of the stupidest ideas I've ever heard.
Well, that shows what you know. I'll get a big Harley, and then I'll show it off for my friends at work, and then you'll eat your words.
Whatever. I really can't deal with you right now. If you want to spend that much money on a bike, then you don't have any right to criticize my coat. I can't believe that we're even having this conversation. You are acting ridiculously. Do you know that?
Well, at least I'm not a stupid woman like you. I'm not just buying my bike to show it off, you know. I'm going to be taking it to work. So how is that a waste of money if I'm going to be using it?
And you think I'm not going to be using this coat to keep me warm in the cold months? You can see it all so clearly for yourself, but just because I'm a woman, you refuse to let me do exactly what you're doing. And all this is doing right now is telling me exactly the kind of person that you really are.
Hey, what the heck is going on here? How come there's practically nothing left in my savings account?
I'm sorry, I don't quite understand what you're confused about. That sounds right to me.
It can't be right. You need to explain yourself right now. Why don't I have any money in my savings account?
I guess you're finally starting to learn that when you spend money, it no longer stays in your bank. I would have thought you already knew that's how this worked already, given how much you're always nagging me.
But, I was finally going to buy my new bike. I just checked my bank account and this just isn't adding up. We've been married for 3 years now. How do I not have any savings in that account? I thought you said you were putting money away for me. So where is it? Were you lying? Did you steal it from me?
Oh, yes. Well, I actually stopped putting money in there since you weren't really making any to begin with.
I don't believe you. You stole it from me, didn't you? You stole all my money and you used it to buy yourself that new nice coat of yours, didn't you? Don't lie to me. I already know the truth. Well, you better pay me back for all the money that you've taken from me. You're not going to get away with this.
Your money? I really have no idea what you're talking about. Besides, I told you that I bought this coat with my own money, remember? I didn't touch any of your money at all. I bought this for myself.
You're lying to me, and I know it. If you didn't touch my money, then where is it? Why don't I have any money in my savings account then?
That would probably be because I moved the money to somewhere it would be safe. After all, you have no business using up all your savings buying a new bike that you don't need.
Excuse me? You moved my money without telling me? What is that supposed to mean? Where's my money then?
Well, for one, I already know that you were in quite a bit of debt to one of your coworkers, right? And I know that you haven't paid him back in a long time. So I used your savings to pay off the debts that you already had.
You did what? You used my money for what? Without my permission? How did you even find out about that?
Actually, if you must know, your coworker reached out to me asking about when he would get his money back.
You're kidding me. Did he really call you? And just when did all this happen?
Oh, I think a few days ago now. He explained to me all about what happened between the two of you. I just have no idea what you were thinking.
But I only borrowed from him before you and I were married. I had just started at the company and I wasn't able to get by on my salary, so I had to do something.
Zach, you borrowed money from someone who was working under you in the company. Do you not think he might have been going through something similar?
I know that he wasn't, because this guy has been saving up money ever since he was in high school. I just knew that he had a bunch tucked away somewhere. So I just asked to borrow a bit of his money to keep me afloat until I got ahead in my career.
Just because someone has money in savings doesn't mean that it's there for you to use. You really are selfish. Do you realize that? I mean, it's so clear that you think of no one but yourself. This can't be happening, Zach.
You don't know what you're talking about at all, you annoying woman. And just how did this coworker even find you to begin with, huh?
He came all the way to our house to ask about the money. He told me that he was looking for you but found me instead.
Well, you should have reached out to me the moment that guy showed his face at our house. Honestly, doesn't he know that I'm his boss? What is he thinking, bothering my wife like that?
Well, it sounds to me like you didn't leave him with many options. He was telling me that you were refusing to pay him back. He even told me that you threatened him at times and that that's why he wanted to try and talk to you face to face outside of the office. But he told me that you said if he did anything to try and press this matter of the debt that you would have him fired. Do you really not want him back that badly? Don't you realize how cruel and awful you were being?
I wasn't doing anything wrong at all. I was just letting him know that I have the right to speak up for myself and that I'd pay him back when I was ready. It's not like I was never going to pay him back, but he was just always bugging me about when I was going to have his money for him.
So then you are going to pay him back? Because I thought you just said that you were about to buy a new motorcycle. It seems to me like you've had more than enough money to pay him back for a while now.
Well, I can't just pay him back all at once. I need to make sure that I have a cushion of savings after I give him the money. I mean, we worked together, for crying out loud. I could have paid him back any time that I wanted to.
But you didn't, did you? You always managed to find a reason for why it was so inconvenient for you to do so. And all the while, you had the gall to try and talk to me about how to spend and save money. But your coworker told me that he had to postpone his wedding because he couldn't afford it because you weren't paying him back. You are literally affecting his life in a negative way by not giving him the money you owe.
Well, I didn't know that he was engaged, so you can't blame that on me. That is not my fault.
The point is that you keep saying you could pay him back any time, but you didn't. And now you've really put this guy in a pinch. You realize he was doing you a favor by lending you money, right? And now he regrets it.
Well, he's a fool if he really does regret it, because I was always going to him back for what he lent me.
Okay, you keep saying that, and yet you haven't done so this whole time. It took him coming to me to finally get his money back.
And you shouldn't have been giving him anything to begin with. How dare you move my money from my account with ever asking me first? That's basically theft. Don't you realize that? You're my wife and betrayed me like this. I can't believe that you would do this to me. I thought that I can trust you.
The only thief here is you, Zach. You borrowed money that you clearly never had any intention of returning. So much time has passed and you still haven't paid this man back. So as your wife, I took it upon myself to take care of your debts.
But even when asked you to do this in the first place, do you really think that I'm going to let you get away with this? First, I'll make sure I fire that little peon, and then I'll deal with you.
Are you really sure that you're even going to be able to do that in the first place? I mean, I've heard you talk about this guy before, and he sounds like a real rising star in your company. Why would your bosses go along with your decision to fire him?
It doesn't matter because I'm in charge of him, and I make the decisions. Besides, he's just one guy. Nobody's going to miss a single employee. We can have him replaced like nothing. You'll see.
Oh, I am sure that you're going to try it. I have no doubt in my mind about that. But I am just not sure it's going to go the way you think it will. And I think that you're going to land yourself in serious trouble for trying to abuse your power like this.
What did you do?
What are you talking about? What happened? I didn't do anything.
I was just called into the office of my supervisor, and he told me that I was being fired.
Oh, really? You're being let go? Well, congratulations on that.
Congratulations. Did you not read my message? I'm being fired. I'm out of a job. What did you say to my boss?
I didn't say anything to your boss at all. All I did was give a little advice to that coworker of yours.
Advice? What did you tell him? How could you do this to me?
I only told him that if he felt like he was being bullied by his immediate supervisor, that he should go one leg of the ladder up and talk to your boss. And it sounds to me like he did that, and now you're in trouble for not treating your coworkers with respect.
I don't believe this. You set this all up. Are you trying to ruin me or something like that? You don't know anything about how my job works.
I know that you threatened to fire this guy and that you were about to follow through with it. So I guess it sounds to me like he just beat you to the punch. Not only that, but I heard that he reported you were embezzling.
You've got to be kidding me. You mean he accused me of that? But it's a lie. I didn't even do anything.
Well, it sounds like this guy has already given your boss his testimony. So not only were you extorting your underlings, you were robbing the company as well. If you really thought that you were going to get away with that forever, then you were only deluding yourself.
But I didn't do anything. I didn't threaten anyone. I didn't steal any money. I didn't do anything wrong.
You can say that to me all you like. But if I had to guess, I'd imagine that your bosses are going to open an investigation into you and find out the truth.
Oh no, this is really bad. What am I going to do? If things don't go my way, then I'll never be able to undo this firing. I might even have to pay back money.
Why would you have to pay money back if you didn't steal anything?
Oh, don't you start with me. You were the one who stole from me in the first place, remember? You have to get me out of this.
I am not going to do a single thing for you. I have put up with nonsense from you for long enough. You're a controlling, bossy, condescending, and all-around sexist husband. I can't imagine what the people who work under you have to go through. But if you committed crimes, then it's only right that you pay for them. And you can bet that we're getting a divorce as well.
Wait, no. You can't be serious about that, right? You're not really going to leave me, are you?
Oh, I've wanted to for a long time, and I'm not going to let you hold me back any longer. Have a nice life, Zach! I wasn't the one who had put the idea of reporting Zach's embezzlement to his bosses into his coworker's head. He had already had his own suspicions. But when he mentioned this to me when he came over, I told him I did notice some irregularities in our home finances that matched better with what he was telling me. I took the liberty of sending some of our records to the coworker of Zach's before he went back to the office to talk to the big bosses. With that evidence in hand, it sounds like the investigation into Zach was short-lived and he was fired quite quickly. In the meantime, I hired a lawyer and began the divorce process from Zach. Without a job, wife, or even a house, my name was on the lease, Zach had nowhere to go and nothing to look forward to. He tried applying to other similar companies, but no one would hire him after they knew he had been fired for stealing. So I heard that Zach packed up his bags and fled to a new town where nobody would know him. I haven't heard a single word from him ever since. As for me, I've been enjoying the single life. I sold our large house and moved into a nice condo where I've been able to live however I want with no one to boss me around. Of course I still cook and clean, but I'm no longer bending over backwards and striving for perfection. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.